What's up, everybody? We're listening to The Legend of Mana, amazing soundtrack by Yoko Shimomura today. I don't know that song on the guitar. Shouldn't be too hard. I think I'm gonna play Paint the Universe one of these days, which is one of my favorites. I think it is my favorite JRPG battle theme of all time. Boss battle theme of all time. Or battle music of any kind of all time. Thank you for joining, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday Q&A. Here to answer your damn questions. A poll. Let's start a poll. I'm gonna ask you guys if you care about fan translations. Well, I guess I should be more specific. Fan translated JRPGs. Like the ones that are only in Japan, but you can emulate them and play them in English because they're fan translated. There we go. Vote! Vote, god damn it! Have you ever played the original Sakura Wars for the Saturn? Nope. Speaking about fan translations. Yeah, I haven't. Can you do a PS3 JRPG top list? I have plenty of those already. I have a top 50, top 10, and a tier list. All you gotta do is open a new tab on YouTube, type Erick Landon PS3, and you'll see them. Did you hear the CEO of Level 5 wants to make hentai games? What? Seriously? That's crazy, man. Oh my god, that's crazy. Another Yoko Taro? The CEO of Level 5, that's Akihiko Hino, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that's pretty much the guy who created the studio. Is he currently the CEO? If he isn't, then I don't know who you're talking about, but if it is Akihiko Hino, then yeah, I know the guy, and I can't believe he said that. Can you share the source? Where did you hear that? Most people wouldn't go out in public and say that, you know, so it may be bullshit. I don't know where you got that info from. And if it was Yoko Taro, I would get it, you know, he's the kind of guy who would say something like that. But the guy from Level 5, I don't know where you got that information, man. Remember, people, we are living in the era of misinformation. Imagine all the misinformation about me out there. Have you played Ark Knights? No. For some reason it sounds familiar, but no, I haven't. Can you recommend a similar JRPG like Rogue Galaxy? One where you travel from planet to planet in an action RPG combat? I think there isn't better recommendation than the Star Ocean series. In some of them you do visit more than one planet, like Star Ocean The Last Hope, which is chronologically the first Star Ocean ever made. You should check that out. It's on PS3, Xbox 360, PS4 digital. It's probably on PS5 as well. You can get it on PS5 digital remaster. It's not really a remaster, it's more like the graphics were upscaled and that's it. Even though Square Enix kind of calls it a remaster, but it isn't. So, yeah. The Star Ocean series, definitely. What others? There's barely any. There's one called The Infinite Space, but it's vastly different. But you do get the same, you do visit different planets. But most of the gameplay is menu-based. The dialogue is on the visual novel style. And then the battle system sucks, so unfortunately I don't know if I can recommend this game. Infinite Space. It has a lot of fans. on the Nintendo DS, but not really. I mean, no, not really. But it has a similar concept. Okay, can't think of a better recommendation than the Star Ocean series, to be honest. Similar to Rogue Galaxy. What do you think of X-Create, creators of the S-Divine series? Those guys have created and developed a bunch of JRPGs published by Kemco. They're a good studio. They're some of the earlier studios published by Kemco, which date all the way back to the PSP era. That's when they started doing this, one after another. They're okay games, you know, most of them aren't really that great, but, you know, they're okay games. I played Ice Divine Hearts on the PlayStation Vita, and it was honestly very mediocre and forgettable. I wasn't a fan. I'm more of a fan of other games by the same company, Revenant Saga, Mystic Chronicles, but no, I don't think Mystic Chronicles was done by them. Anyway, so nothing great about that company, to be honest. Fan translations usually come from a place of passion. I'll be more keen to play a fan translation over a modern official translation any day. Me too. If Hooflong, the Landon verse? What? Have you watched another channels in YouTube who make RPG content? No, I pretty much decided to stop watching them a long time ago. I was never a big fan anyway. But I don't watch other JRPG channels, man. They all do the same content nowadays. The exact same content. So, Starfield is an action RPG that you travel from planet to planet. I didn't know that, but Starfield is extremely politicized from what I've heard, so be warned. If you don't care about that, then okay. I couldn't care less about Starfield, and because I haven't played it, it isn't something I can recommend. Do you think JRPGs need more visual progressions like outfits or new gears? No. Well, it depends on the game, right? There's gotta be a bunch of RPGs out there that will easily benefit from those characteristics, but I don't think so. I personally don't place a lot of importance in outfits or gears, except if I'm playing a game where the girls are like really sexy and they are like the point of the game. Well, maybe not the point, but there's a lot of fan service, you know? Okay, I'll take a few outfits, but I understand that outfits nowadays are pretty much DLC, most of them, and I don't support that, you know, paying for a fucking outfit. That's just ridiculous in my opinion. But to answer your question, need more visual progressions like outfits or new gears? No. I mean, sure, you spend in most JRPGs, almost every single one of them. I mean, there's a few exceptions here and there. Tales of Graces is one of them. But in 99% of JRPGs, the character has the same outfit from beginning to end. Doesn't them? They always. Guy or girl, the exact same outfit from beginning to end. Right? And the same gear. Well, gear is a little bit more frequent. You do get a lot of JRPGs with characters that have like different equipment. And if you change their weapon, or not their armor, but their weapon, you know, it changes. That's something that we see a little bit more often in JRPGs. Like if they're equipping a lance this time and now a sword, the animations change to the sword. Or if the sword is from a different color or a different style, you know, the sword changes during battle. That's something we see more often. When it comes to outfits, you're kind of right. I mean, we see the exact same outfit. They're wearing the exact same clothes. That one outfit, the entire game, from beginning to end. I guess it's because, well, you need to keep in mind that most JRPGs take place within a very small, short timeline. Like, you play them for weeks, months, but in reality, the time that elapses in the game is just a few days, maybe. But still, I mean, days elapse, and they're wearing the same clothes, so it doesn't make any fucking sense, right? They should be more realistic. So, yeah, to answer your question, it will be more interesting if we start seeing more of that. You know, it is extremely rare to find a JRPG that does that. Unless they have some kind of time jump. But years apart, like a few years have elapsed and now they have different clothes, like Tales of Graces, Fire Emblem Three Houses. You know, but for like months, entire days, weeks, months. They wear the same outfits, so or the same gear, right? It will be fun to have them. If you change armor, to make them change the armor in-game with the in-game graphics. It will be more interesting, I would love to see more JRPGs like that. Western RPGs tend to be like that, actually. A lot of them. Like, when it comes to Western RPGs, it is the exact opposite. There's a lot of them like that. Like almost 80 or 90% of Western RPGs are like that. You change your outfit or your armor or your weapon, and the character changes that. So there's progression, but it's just that. It's what you in Western RPGs. It's what you decide your characters to wear. Right? It's not like it's been like the next day and they change by themselves, and that change of outfit is scripted. It isn't like that. So, yeah, to answer your question, yes, I would love to see outfit or gear progression, like different outfits, But I think it will be a lot of trouble for the developers and programmers to do that. Maybe. Thank you, Hooflong. If you were to write a new book based on JRPGs, are there any newer mechanic or modern tropes that stand out as inspiration? Now, mechanic, I'm not sure what you mean, because if I'm writing a book, there's no mechanics in there. It's just reading. It's just text. So, I mean, that doesn't make any sense, man. But modern tropes that stand out as inspiration, not really. To be honest, most of my inspiration comes from things from the past, maybe. Movies, books, JRPGs, other video games, anime series, anime shows that I've watched in the past. I don't think there's barely anything new. But if there's one inspiration, very, very ironically, is that I would love to write a book, and I'm probably going to, this year, a book that criticizes and attacks the modern political bullshit. Okay, but when it comes to JRPGs, we only see that because of the localization. No, man. There's barely any modern JRPGs that have tropes that have inspired me to, or that could inspire me to write a new book or use those tropes in my book. Maybe some of the psychological issues. We've been getting more psychological types of stories and dramas within the stories written in modern JRPGs. Maybe that could work, but at the same time, not really. Okay, 61 votes. Do you care about fan-translated JRPGs? 77% yes, 23% no. I'm honestly surprised, and I'm happy at the same time. Do you think that the Nintendo DS has the most JRPG games ever made in a console? No, that's the PlayStation 4. Although the Switch... It could very well be the Switch, now that I think about it. It's either the Switch or the PS4. Either of those systems, they have over 150 JRPGs each. Released outside of Japan. Well, nowadays most JRPGs get released outside of Japan, but some still stay in there. You say Eiyuden Chronicle a lot like Octopath Traveler. It's nothing like Octopath Traveler. It's just the graphical style. That's it, but it plays nothing like Octopath. Will you be playing SMT5 Vengeance? Yeah, in like 2 years when the price is like $10. I know you're asking me if I'm going to be playing it on release date or launch. No. May is pretty dry right now. It's fucking horrible here in Guadalajara, Mexico. Hottest month of the entire year. Every year is the same. It never changes. It's fucking horrible. I hate it. This is the worst month. I wish I could just go away for an entire month to a cold country, to Canada again or to the UK. But I'm poor. Did you stop supporting your non-JRPG channel? What? You mean the one in Spanish with my friend Oscar? Is that the channel you mean? Would you consider how Working Designs translated games as good? No. Let alone good or bad, forget about good or bad, it's wrong. It's just considerably altering the original script to Americanize it. But at least they did it funny. They still did a good job, and there was barely any political agenda hidden in their translations. So I have more respect for Working Designs than most JRPG localization teams nowadays, right? But I wouldn't call their localization good because it's pretty much disrespectful to the original script. Yeah, Working Designs translations have been there since the early 90s. They brought a lot of JRPGs to the Sega CD, Sega Saturn, PS1. They went bankrupt in 2003, I believe. 2003, I think, they went bankrupt. They declared bankruptcy. And some people have wondered in the past if it was because of that they got a lot of shit and hate because they were doing this. Justified hate, in my opinion. But at the same time, I think the problem with Working Designs, why they died, is because they were pretty much focusing on localizing JRPGs that were pretty damn obscure back in the day, and focusing on Sega consoles more so than PlayStation consoles. Sure, when the PS1 came out, the PS2 came out, they went full force in that, but it was already too late because they focused on JRPGs that were unsuccessful in the West. So I think that's one of the reasons. But I don't remember this because I wasn't interested in JRPGs in the 90s. I was playing other types of genres. I didn't get into JRPGs until the mid-2000s. So by the time I started getting into games like Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy IX, and games like that, Working Design was already dead, and I didn't know them until I finally got a game that had the logo Working Designs, like Lunar, Arc the Lad Collection. I think Arc the Lad Collection was the first JRPGs that I played by Working Designs. So, and I did notice the localization was a little bit more. It made more sense in Arc the Lad, but you play the Lunar games, the early Lunar games, and it's like, what's going on here, right? Play Pop Full Mail on the Sega CD, and the jokes are like kind of very Americanized. It's funny, they did a funny job, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean they made a good job or a decent, respectful job. It's just, I don't know, altering things just for the sake of whatever, just for the sake of westernizing things. I think it's insulting, to be honest. So I don't have a lot of respect for Working Designs. But like I said, I respect them more than modern JRPG localization teams. Whether these translations by Working Designs were good or bad, I wouldn't say they're bad, but they aren't necessarily good either. Let's leave it at that. What am I currently playing? I streamed a game a couple of days ago called Potion Permit, which is on PS5, PS4, everything. It's an indie RPG from Indonesia, an Indonesian studio. Check it out, it's pretty cool. I'll review it if I get the chance. I'll upload that very same stream on my second channel probably tomorrow, so be on the lookout for it. If you don't want to wait, go to my Twitch channel. My link to my Twitch channel, it's in the description. So yeah, check it out. And that's the type of game. It's a very Rune Factory type of game. Okay. At least they mostly altered the optional NPCs and not so much of the main story. I'm not interested in Metaphor ReFantasio at all. Do you like games with complex alchemy and weapon creation? No, man. No, my man. No, I don't. I don't. To be honest, no. I want alchemy and weapon creation or customization to be easy or traditional. I came from an era where all you did was buy the latest weapon or the newest weapon on the next town and equip it, and all your stats go up. Like, I came back recently to my playthrough of Tales of Berseria, and I fucking hate the equipment system. Every single piece of equipment, even accessories, increase some stats but reduce other stats. I hate that, man. And there's an enhancement system which is better. I like that. I prefer that, But like trying to materialize something, like gather materials and create this weapon, you know, kind of like God Eater. Like God Eater series is like that. You need a bunch of materials, different materials, and this and that, and this combination, weird combinations to create the next best weapon. I hated that with a passion. That's the reason why I ditched every single one of them. I mean, I beat the first arc of God Eater 1, 2, and 3. Well, in 3, I beat the second arc as well. I miraculously made it. But the other two, the first two God Eater games, you know, I ditched them because I couldn't find the right materials, and in order to find them, I needed to hunt 10,000 monsters and kill 10,000 bosses, and it was just ridiculous, man. They, like I said in my video, they overstayed their welcome. So, and when it comes to complexity, like alchemy and stuff like that, it's the same, you know. I prefer complexity maybe in battle systems or in storytelling. I fucking love that. But when it comes to small things like that, like weapons, armor, accessories, or alchemy, like in some Atelier games, some of the alchemy synthesis is like a little bit more complex than it should be. So I'm not really a fan of that, man. I like my complexity in other areas, not in small details like that, like weapon, armor, potion, stuff like that. You know, it's just not my thing. No Witcher 3, what are you talking about? I fucking love The Witcher 3. But yeah, that's another one. I hated that in The Witcher 3. Is there an RPG in Mayan times? That'll be awesome. Actually, there is an NES RPG developed by Falcom called Tombs and Treasure, and it takes place in the Mexican pyramids. That's as close it gets, you know, to a Mayan RPG. It's on the NES. It's pretty interesting. It's not that great of a game, but it's a pretty unique video game. Combines point and click with turn-based combat and exploration, you know. Menu-based exploration. If you have to put crafting in a JRPG, please make it fast. Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of people like complexity, you know, but I don't. I always kept weaker weapons in games that gave special status effects because they might become useful. Oh yeah, me too. I always keep those types of equipment. When it comes to armor, accessories, you know, that one accessory, I sell everything, you know, except the accessories that are like resistant to poison, resistant to slow, or it's a fire weapon. And I might face a nice elemental creature or a boss or something, and if I equip the fire weapon, I'll do more damage. You know, I'm the same. I never sell or get rid of those equipment. Why so much hate towards Western RPGs? I don't know. You mean for me? I don't hate them, you know, I'm a big fan of The Witcher 3, I'm a big fan of Dragon Age, Inquisition and Origins, Kingdoms of Amalur. You know, I just don't like most Western RPGs because I don't like their gameplay mechanics. Their storytelling is fine, but it's just the gameplay mechanics aren't appealing to me, and the character design is boring most of the time. And the music is also boring as hell. You know, they just don't have the same personality JRPGs have. That's just my opinion, though. What do you think of Brave Fencer Musashi? I think it's a good game. I never finished it. I wanted to stream it once, some time ago, but I couldn't. But I did play it when I had the store. A long time ago, and it was fun. It was a fun game, though it didn't age very well. You know, the controls, the camera. I mean, it aged better than some other action JRPGs of that same era, but I don't know. There's something about the polygons and the camera, the backgrounds that didn't age very well, and the controls are a bit stiff. Still kind of fast though. It aged better than Dragon Valor. Ever heard of that game? So anyway, Brave Fencer Musashi, it's a good game, it's a good action RPG. It's just not one of the best RPGs on the PS1. Oh, The Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. That's another Western RPG I like. I covered it before, check out my second channel. I made a little review about it. Check it out. Do you remember the convoluted equipment and craft mechanic in Tales of Zestiria? No, but it's it came before Tales of Berseria, so it's probably just as convoluted. Arise had the same equipment system. You know, it's just meh. Illusion of Gaia had Incan ruins. Well, there you go. For your Mayan thingy. What are your thoughts of the new Sword Art Online games? I haven't played them. The last one I played was called Last Recollection, and that's pretty damn good. Surprisingly good. I'm not a fan of the series, you know, and I thought for sure that game was gonna be like the others, like but no. Sure, the story, I didn't care too much about it because it's a sequel of a sequel of a sequel, and you need to play these games in order to fully understand what's going on and who the heck are these characters. But the main plot was so easily understood, even though you were playing with characters that know each other and have gone through a lot and have bonded and whatnot already in previous games. The main plot was still easy to understand and get into, but the combat was awesome, the exploration was cool too. Puzzles weren't that annoying. Well, somewhat annoying, but not that annoying. But yeah, the combat in Last Recollection was bonkers. That's a great reason to play the game. Musashi. The PlayStation 2 game is a sequel. And I don't think it's a direct sequel. I think it's a different character this time. It's okay. The PS1 game is better. It was more interesting, more charming. The second one feels more like a regular hack and slash game, more so than an action RPG. It's not great. It's not bad. You know, it's all right. But it's okay at best. Brave Samurai Musashi. No, Samurai Legend Musashi. That's the name of PS2 game. Yeah, it's okay at best. Have you ever played Cyberpunk? No. And if you do know, okay. If not, do you plan on playing it? I'm not sure, man. It's a modern Western RPG. You know how I feel about those. I mean, JRPGs have started to go to hell because of modern Western localization. But I feel like Western RPGs, every single one of them is fucking woke already, so I'm not interested in playing it, man. You should play The Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor. Yeah, people have recommended that game before to me. Maybe one of these days. Have you played Diablo 4? No, I think the last one I played was 3. And not my type of game, to be honest. It was good though. It was dark. And I like that. Yeah, it's a similar graphic engine. The Sword Art Online games, it's pretty similar to Tokyo Xanadu. I kind of agree. Obviously, they aren't the same developers, but you know what? They do look very similar. The Sword Art Online games to the Trails games, or anything by Falcom, you know? Yeah, they look pretty similar. Maybe they do use the same graphic engine, which was the Fire Engine. That's what it's called, the Fire Engine. Not the upcoming one from Falcom. Trails Through Daybreak is going to have a different graphic engine. But the Fire Engine was used by many companies to develop, I'm pretty sure, the Sword Art Online games, the Falcom RPGs, all of them, Tokyo Xanadu, Trails, East, the Atelier series before Ryza, most of them use the Fire Engine, so that's why you see a lot of similarities. Check out just look it up, it's called the Fire Engine, it's just with a Y instead of an I. Fire Engine. Oh, I think it's with a PH. I forget. But it's called the Fire Engine. Falcom isn't using it anymore. Neither is Koei Tecmo for Atelier. But apparently Bandai Namco is still using it for the Sword Art Online games. Brave Story for PSP, have you played it? That's a really good game. Pretty cool and charming hidden gem, turn-based RPG. Lovely graphics for its time. Nowadays, they look kind of blurry. If you play it on your PS Vita nowadays, you know, you're gonna notice that. But for its time, it looked beautiful. It's a love letter to classic RPGs like Lunar, you know, all of those games from the 90s. All of those RPGs. I say Lunar because I don't know why it feels a lot like the Lunar series for some reason. But it's a really good game, man. Yeah, check it out, definitely. Brave story. I do recommend it. Will you get Tokyo Xanadu for Switch? No, I already own it on PS4. I don't see the point. Why are there so many people that love FPS? Just because you don't care about them doesn't mean that people shouldn't love them. You know, it's just a genre you don't like. I don't like it either. I don't like first-person shooters. I think what gets them is the fact that they can just shoot at people or at monsters and get some kind of satisfaction out of that, you know. I don't know. I don't understand the love either, but I respect it. East 9 didn't use the Fire Engine either? Well, that's weird because it looks a lot like the Fire Engine. I didn't know that. Are you excited for the upcoming Demon Slayer anime Hashira training? I'm not the biggest fan of Demon Slayer. My brother is a diehard. And because of him, I watched the first 2 seasons. And they were good. But I've watched too many anime series like that. We've talked about that series before. Have you played Kingdom Come Deliverance? Nope. Are there any JRPGs? Any RPGs you will recommend building the RPG Maker engine? Yes, there's one called by a fan. It's called Succubus Apothecary Risa. I didn't know the creator of this game was a fan of my channel. Apparently he is. So that's a really good, that's the best one I played on RPG Maker. I played like maybe 6 or 7 only, not too many. But that's by far the best one. Succubus Apothecary Risa. Or Risa. Risa. You know, look it up on the PS4 version of the game, okay? PS4, PS5, Switch, it's there. You're not gonna find it in the other versions of RPG Maker. Eric, from your poll, I am a physical game collector. If the fans will release a physical copy of a fan-translated game, I will buy a copy. If not, I will stick to the official release. Well, keep in mind that there's a lot of fan-translated JRPGs that have a physical release. I have one, Treasure of the Rudras. You got a physical release on the Super Nintendo. But keep in mind, you're practically buying piracy. Those are bootlegs. They're unofficial releases. Okay? It's not like Squaresoft said yes to the people who made that physical edition, okay? I have it there, it's far, I'm not gonna stand up and get it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. But a lot of people are physical game collectors and they buy these things, even though it's pretty much buying bootlegs or piracy. So just keep in mind that's what you're doing if you're planning on buying any fan-translated JRPGs with a physical release. But yeah, just select yes on the poll, Yum. That's all you gotta do, man. What was the first fan-translated JRPG you ever played? Gee, man, I don't remember. Some of the very, like the earliest ones, Persona 2 Innocent Sin. Because I played it before the PSP version existed. Before the PSP version, Innocent Sin was an only in Japan game, the PS1 version, but it was fan-translated. I think that's the first one. It's probably the first one. Or no, Suikoden 2, because I played it in Spanish. The first time I played Suikoden 2, it was in Spanish. Final Fantasy 9 was the same. The first time I played it was in Spanish. So, I mean, those translations, those Spanish translations are unofficial, right? In the original PS1, many years ago. Yeah, Final Fantasy 9 in Spanish, Suikoden 2 in Spanish, Persona 2 Innocent Sin in English, Tales of Innocence on the Nintendo DS, Tales of the Tempest also on the Nintendo DS. Those are some of the first ones I played. What do you think of fishing in RPGs? I've never been a fan. Couldn't care less. There was a quest to recruit one character in Eiyuden Chronicle that requires you to fish constantly until you get a rare fucking fish. I hated that quest. Can we have more rant videos of JRPGs that you didn't like for reasons? I'd love to, you know, but yeah, sure. I'll keep making the Rage Quit videos. I know I'm pretty much shadow banned content creator here on YouTube, so my top 10s or my lists aren't being successful anymore. But That's not gonna make the rage quit videos go away. No, sir. Eventually there's gonna be a new one. Be patient. Keep waiting. Do you know what engine East 10 is using? Is it Fire Engine or the new one? The new one. Your opinion on Baldur's Gate 3, I didn't play it. Are you a fan of emulators? Yes, I am. What are your thoughts of Rogue Ally or Steam Deck? I don't know what Rogue Ally is. Steam Deck, I want one, I would love to have one. But I would love to have one that I can connect to my TV. That would be better, because this laptop sucks for Steam. I downloaded Steam many years ago, tried a few games. It was horrible, man. You can't run them properly, even the retro ones. Several years later, namely 2 months ago, when I played the Euden Chronicle beta version exclusive to Steam, it was a fucking mess, man. So I wanted a Steam Deck so I can connect it to my TV and use it as a console, pretty much. From your point of view, what do you think about the future of the East and the Legend of Heroes series? Are they on the right track? I don't know, man, because we have yet to play the latest releases. Trails Through Daybreak is coming out in a couple of months, and East 10 does not have an official release date yet. It's just they're just saying that it's gonna be released during the fall of this very same year. So I'm gonna have to play them first to have a proper opinion and say, oh, they are still on the right track. But based on the last ones, here's my opinion. Based on East 9 and based on Trails into Reverie, Trails seems to be on the right track, but this new game, upcoming game, is going to be its own story, its new story arc. Barely anything to do with the previous games. Sure, some things will still carry over and some characters will still appear and make a comeback, but it's probably gonna be more of a self-contained story. So, but after playing Trails into Reverie, I think that the future is okay, seems fine. We don't know what's gonna happen. Apparently, there's the final game in the series, in this new arc. Daybreak arc is called Goodbye or Farewell to Semuria, so that's gonna be the end of the series, I think. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. You know, I don't have any expectations whatsoever when it comes to the Trails or the Legend of Heroes series. But when it comes to East, East 10 looks great, but I'm more worried about East than Trails, and I'll tell you why. Because the East series started having a bunch of party members and different playable characters for the past several games, and then East 10 is only going to have 2 playable characters, Adol and the girl, and that's it, and that's gonna be the entire game. And I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, to be honest. I don't know. I don't think, in terms of party members, I don't think that's the right direction or the right track, honestly. Everything else looks fine. I've seen the trailers, I've seen the gameplay footage they have released. I've seen some Japanese gameplay, and everything else looks bonkers. The graphics, the music sounds great. The battle mechanics, the controls, the combat, you know, the exploration, everything sounds perfect. I have no complaints about that. It's just the party members things, and that's it. And about localization and woke bullshit, you know, I'm a bit worried because there was a specific character on East 9 that was kind of like, why is that? I mean, why? But it was just an NPC, the bartender, you know, and it was like, okay, you know, I don't have a problem with that, you know, but who knows what's waiting for us when it comes to East 10 or East 11 in a few years, if it ever gets released or if it ever gets developed. So yeah, I'm a bit more worried about the East series than the Trail series, you know, but I think right now they are, overall, they seem to be in the right track. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. I need to play those 2 games to properly answer that question. To say, oh, they are on the right track, or no, they're not. Like East 10, for example, like I said, not to repeat myself, but having only 2 playable characters, that's, I don't know how I feel about that. East 10 was received better than Kuro 2 in Japan. Okay, gotcha, I'll keep that in mind. The Steam Deck works fine with any USB cable. Thunderbolt dock connected to your TV. Look into EmuDeck, by far the best platform for emulation. I'll do that once I get my hands on a Steam Deck. Hey Rosland, We need fan translated and hacked JRPGs badly. Especially nowadays, right? We need every JRPG with a Western release, we need it retranslated by fans. 2 characters is fine. I never said he was wrong, it's just for that series. I mean, take a look at the Tales series. The Tales series have had multiple party members since the beginning. I know Ys is not the same case, but we've gotten multiple party members in every Ys game except Origin during the past several years. 10 years. More than 10 years. 15 years of party members in the Ys series. And all of a sudden, only 2? Would you say the same about the Tales series or Star Ocean? Only 2 party members? Only 2 playable characters? Okay. I don't know, man. I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna have to play the game. It's probably still gonna be bonkers, Well, Olivier in the Trail series is kind of like, he's weird, man. Less characters also means less weapon types. Okay, fine. Keep throwing your arguments to contradict what I said. Is turn-based JRPG becoming less and less of a thing now? No, it doesn't seem to. We talked about this in the last stream. I don't think so. I think turn-based is still very much alive. Sure, we don't get as many as we did in the 90s or early 2000s, but there's still a heck of a lot of turn-based JRPGs. It's just the mainstream, the big ones are not, some of them are not action anymore. Final Fantasy, for example, but there's still a lot. Dragon Quest, Persona, Shin Megami Tensei, there's a lot of them. I remember doing 2 videos some time ago. What was it about, like 3 years ago? I think it was 3 years ago, right? 2.5 years ago, called Top 10 Best Modern Turn-Based JRPGs. If you go and watch those videos, you'll get a lot of... There's 20 in there. 20 at least. And there's more. More have been released. You got Yakuza Like a Dragon. You got series that were action and now they're going turn-based. Like the Yakuza series. Like a Dragon 1 and 2. Infinite Wealth. They're turn-based RPGs. In fact, I've been playing a heck of a lot of turn-based RPGs this year. Persona 3 Reload, the remake, that was turn-based. They didn't change it to action. They could have done that, but no. Trails Through Daybreak is going to combine both. Action and turn-based. Going to give the player the option. I don't know, I still see a crap ton of turn-based RPGs, people. How many controllers have you destroyed or replaced due to normal wear and tear? Or due to rage quit? Rage quit, I think when I was little, I may have thrown a controller and it got damaged. It didn't stop working. Maybe a button or 2 got damaged, but that's about it. Not really. Rage quit, no. I'm not really the type of guy to throw the controller at the screen or at the floor or something, And if I do, I throw it on the couch so it won't get damaged. And how many have... barely any, I take good care of my controllers. Maybe a long time ago, maybe my PlayStation... I do have my PlayStation controller, PlayStation 2 controller. I know for a fact it has some wear in the joysticks, but it still works perfectly fine. Although one of the joysticks, some of the last PS2 RPGs I played in there, the joysticks were kind of like, what's the term? When the character moves on its own and goes a different way. Something that happened with the Switch controller. That hasn't happened to me, by the way. Stick drift? No. Drifting, right? Drifting, yeah. Drifting. That's what happened. No, it isn't stick drift. It's called drifting, yeah. So... That's... I need to replace my PlayStation 2 controller. But not the others. Every single one of my controllers nowadays is perfectly fine. Sure, Kevin. As long as these YouTubers are of the same mindset, that reject politics, you know? I'd love to, you know, to make more new collabs, but only with these type of people. The battery on my PS5 controller is dead. Ooh, that sucks, man. The PS5 controllers are freaking expensive. Sucks to be you, man. What do you think about the Trails hybrid battle system? I was just talking about it. I think it's cool. I think more JRPGs should do that. Give the player the option to go action or turn-based if they want to. Why not? Once that game releases in the West, you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna do something. It won't be long before we see another JRPG with that same hybrid battle mechanic. I think it's a good idea. I wouldn't like to see that in every single JRPG, you know, but I would love to see that in more JRPGs. For example, it's too late for Final Fantasy VII Remake. But if Final Fantasy IX ever gets a remake like that, Square Enix, please do that. Please, give the player the option to switch between turn-based and action. I mean real fucking turn-based. There's nothing turn-based about Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I've seen some of you saying, oh, it's got some turn-based. There's nothing turn-based about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Nothing whatsoever. All you do is pause the game to bring up the menu. That's not turn-based. You can do that in a lot of action RPGs as well. Okay, but if Square Enix ever decides to remake any other Final Fantasy game with like modern graphics, I don't mean HD 2D, like Final Fantasy VII Remake graphics, you know, please do that. I know they're not gonna listen to me, and they're still gonna turn everything into a fucking hack and slash, but if they ever do that, that's what I think Final Fantasy IX Remake should be like. Give the player the option to do both, you know. Metaphor is also doing it. Oh, okay. Couldn't care less about that game, but if it's doing it, that's great. That will be another example. And I hope other JRPGs follow. Just not all of them, only some of them. You know that. Oh, you know I want to do that too. Players want action RPGs over turn-based, but there's still a lot of players who want turn-based, so I'm gonna give them both. No, you might don't know anybody who fixes consoles nearby. That's a good example. Tails shouldn't be like that. Yeah, Tails offering the player turn-based in action? No. That's Ys. Ys is another one. Never do that with Ys. Never. You know, but I mean like new JRPGs or remakes, you know. Yeah, games from a series that's already been action or strategy for the longest time, you know, don't do that. Parasite Eve, the main theme. That's right. Can't believe that Suikoden remasters are taking so long to release. Like we've discussed before, we all believe Konami was just waiting to see what happened with the Eiyuden Chronicle, and now that it's been released, and I don't know how successful it was, Eiyuden Chronicle, I don't know how much it sold, but I think Konami is gonna release the Suikoden remasters anytime soon. I can't guarantee you anything, but I have a really good feeling they will release the Suikoden remasters pretty soon. I could be wrong though. Do you buy expensive retro games? No. I don't buy expensive games whatsoever. Unless I didn't get a review code of a specific game that I really need for my channel, desperately need for my channel. I've done that maybe 3 times, and that's it. So the answer is no. Suikoden is also pretty text heavy, right? Some of them, Eiyuden, more or less, not really. Suikoden 5 is kind of text heavy. Suikoden 5, Suikoden 3 as well. But not really, they're pretty balanced when it comes to dialogue, man. No, they're more classic, on the classic side of things. They don't have a lot of dialogue. Need a Suikoden 5 remaster, right? What the fuck, Konami? Why not? I hope they don't relocalize Suikoden remasters. I'm afraid of the same thing. I am not buying those games at launch. In fact, I don't think I'm ever going to buy a single video game in existence at launch ever again. Because of that. Because it's just... giving money to these localization teams. You know, that are ruining everything. Fuck. Xenogears again. I heard that Eiyuden Chronicle has a sequel and is in development. Well, we'll see how it turns out now that the creator, developer, and writer of the series is dead. Okay, Yoshitaka Murayama passed away, and who's gonna write the script now? Who knows? Junko Kawano worked on Suikoden 4. I think she was the writer in Suikoden 4, so she's still there, so maybe she can do something. And Suikoden 5 wasn't written by Murayama, and it turned out to be a blast of a story, so maybe, right? I'm not gonna be too negative or pessimistic when it comes to an Eiyuden Chronicle sequel. In fact, I'm gonna have zero expectations. I'm not gonna expect anything, especially from nowadays. You know, if 505 games localize it, you bet your ass gonna be politicized again. But we'll see what happens. I have no expectations for an Eiyuden Chronicle sequel, nor am I too excited for it. It's best that way. I've learned that it's always better to have zero expectations on games or anything nowadays, because there's just a lot of disappointment nowadays. So it's always better to keep your expectations to a minimum or to zero for everything. That's what I did with the Eiyuden Chronicle. Actually, I was like, sure, the first years I was excited. Oh yeah, spiritual successor to Suikoden. Oh, you know what? Bad example. I can't help it. I was excited for a Eiyuden Chronicle and I had expectations. Bad example. Persona 3 Remake. Reload. I didn't have any expectations. I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be politicized. And it fucking was, unfortunately. Censored and altered and whatever, you know. But I was... When it comes to gameplay mechanics, and I didn't know what they were going to be like or what they were going to do with the gameplay itself. Battle system included and exploration and all that jazz. And I was like, And my expectations were... They dropped to zero. And then I played the fucking game and... Yeah, too bad about the localization. But that's Atlus for you. It's not just Atlus of America. That's Atlus in Japan as well. It's like Sega. They're starting... It's like Ryogo Gataku Studio. They're starting to auto-censor and auto-alter their own things in Japan. The Japanese. So, remember my video how I said that the Japanese developers are the ones who should stand up? Yeah, forget about Atlus. Atlus is nowadays a woke company. Even in Japan. Unfortunately. And that's why I'm not interested in Metaphor ReFantasia. Whatever happened to Penny Blood and Armed Fantasia? Someone always asks that in my Q&As every Sunday, and I say the same thing. They're still in development. No news whatsoever yet, but they're still in development. They're working on them. I mean, Dragon Ball is still going on after even the passing of Akira Toriyama. Yeah, but eventually they're gonna have to start using a different character design or style. Or maybe we'll see something that's really, really close to Toriyama's design. We'll see what happens. Eiyuden Chronicle, what about the nostalgia? What kind of question is that? What are you asking me? Yeah, Terry, but did you finish Unicorn Overlord? And have you seen the comparisons in the localization? Did you play 13 Sentinels? Things were altered in the localization. Do you have a video on Stella Deus? And if not, what do you think of it? I think it's an underrated hidden gem. Not a lot of people appreciate that game. Cel-shaded graphics, developed by Atlus. Speaking about Atlus, Atlus themselves developed that game. Strategy RPG, grid-based, stupidly hard and grindy. I finished it once, and I have no plans on ever finishing it again. It's a great game. It's no masterpiece. I do recommend it. I don't have a specific video about it. I don't. But I've covered that game in several videos. You know, PS2 Hidden Gems videos or obscure RPGs for hardcore players. What else? Yeah, I've covered that game multiple times. Grind fests. I've covered that game before. I can't play Unicorn Overlord because it's only on Switch. What the heck are you talking about, man? It's also on PS4, PS5, it's everywhere. I think it's even on Xbox. Unicorn Overlord is everywhere, man. What about Toriyama? I did play 3D Dot Game Heroes. Covered it recently in my top 50 PS3 JRPGs video. Man, those top 50s, they get fucking forever to get views. But after a long time, like 6 months or a year, they get a lot. I'll be completely honest, I liked 3D Dot Game Heroes, but it wasn't my cup of tea. It's too similar to Zelda, and I'm not really a fan of Zelda. Nothing against Zelda, it's just, I don't know, the gameplay mechanics don't seem very appealing to me. But it's okay, it's a good game, yeah. It's awesome to go around. The graphics are freaking gorgeous, by the way, in that game, 3D Dot Game Heroes, but it's fun to go around and kill everything with a big, gigantic ass sword. That's cool, that's pretty cool. But yeah, after a couple of hours, I was like, you know, it isn't my type of game. Oh yeah, it's not on PC. You don't have the modern consoles? It's not on PC, it's not on Steam. Does UO play well on Switch? I have no idea, man. No, wait, actually, yeah, I played the demo, but I only played the first 2 hours of the demo. I played the game on my PlayStation 5. But I played the demo on the Switch and it looked fine to me. It plays fine, no frame rate issues, no resolution issues, no technicalities, no evil technicalities, no mediocre technicalities. It plays fine on the Switch, as far as I'm concerned, but my opinion is based on the demo. Time Game, wow, that's a great donation, man. AED? What's that, man? What is that? 9 AED? Thanks anyway. Final Fantasy VIII is also explicitly a sci-fi setting. It is. That's correct. Astro $E. Do you plan to play Sea of Stars at some point? Yes. Just waiting for the price to drop. That game is getting a physical release this month, on May. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for one. Or if I see it, it's just, you know me, I'm very frugal when it comes to digital games. I don't pay more than $10 or $15, and that's a long stretch. $10 is my ideal price, that's my maximum price to buy a digital game for. So if I ever see Sea of Stars for $10, I'll get it. But now that it's getting a physical release, I'd rather wait for one and hunt one down. Sea of Stars, yeah, May 10. There you go. Anyway, I don't know what AED means, but that was the equivalent. 9 AED was the equivalent of like $5, I think. $5. I'm very happy that the poll is still winning on yes. People do care about fan-translated JRPGs, 160 votes so far. 76% winning, 24 no. What's wrong with you people? Thank you for your channel. Thank you for being a fan, Zadrith. Especially nowadays, man. Have you played Mega Man Legends on PS1? Yes, I did. Nah, it's a good game. I prefer the second one. The second one was much better. Legends 2, but the first one was alright. Thank you, Ashoka Tano. Oh, it's the currency of the United Arab Emirates. Oh no, Dubai. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Anyway, Tano, I prefer fan-translated JRPGs even of games that are released here. They are not woke and not censored, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, you can only play them on Steam or emulate them, right? Like, Yeah. It sucks, man. Imagine a proper translation of a Eiyuden Chronicle on PlayStation 5, on consoles. Ooh, that would be awesome, man. But yeah, only Steam players or PC gamers get that luxury. Playing modern retranslations of JRPGs. Dubai, there you go, time game. Thanks a bunch, man. The new battle orbment and court system of Daybreak is kinda interesting. I haven't seen it. I've seen battle footage and I've seen a lot of trails through Daybreak, but I haven't seen the orbment system. I'm gonna have to check it out. Any new turn-based I should be looking for? That one, Trails Through Daybreak. That's the upcoming one, I believe. There are others, you know, but they aren't that important. The big one for me is that one. I would look forward to it if I were you. Have you played Kingdom Hearts 3? Yeah, a bit of it. It wasn't as bad as they made it out to be in terms of gameplay, but I did feel the story was like, this is fucked up, man. No, I'm not a fan of Kingdom Hearts at all. It's a good reason to learn Japanese due to bad translations. I'm too lazy to do that. I know. Trails games are all in the same universe, and it's one very large story. That's true. Even Daybreak is gonna be... Stellar Blade reported 1 million copies already. That's great. I don't understand why the wokies are attacking fan service. I mean, weren't they supposed to be the liberal ones? Aren't the conservatives, the right-wing people, supposed to complain about sexualization? What? I mean, you see these people now, they don't even make any sense. They have twisted every native political beliefs in existence to their own agenda. Why will they bitch about fan service, man? It's just, I don't get it. I thought for sure they were gonna be excited, you know, like, oh, it's a woman as a protagonist. A strong woman. So, I mean, she's a robot. Maybe that's the reason why they were so pissed off. I don't know, man. It sucks to be old, says Dunsk. He says, recommend JRPGs of the 90s and 2000s to youngsters and they don't know anything about games that era. Just Fortnite and Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact? I don't know. Samus is a strong woman. There you go. Samus is a feminist game. Everyone's a hypocrite to some degree. Yeah, especially those people. The woman needs to hit certain checkboxes? Really? It sucks to be old enough to understand the 90s caused the problems that we have now. I don't agree with that. I think that's more of a new thing and more of an American thing. That's a conversation. We don't want to get into that. Let's not get into that. That's we could be debating here about what led people to become woke and these fucking extremists nowadays. We could also share some China theories, like Joe Rogan. It's a possibility. China caused all of this to divide people and then come here and invade us. No. Let's, you know, more questions. Good afternoon, Lord Kaiser. Do you collect PS5, PS4 controllers with different colors? Nope. I've never been that guy, you know, who collects hardware. I'm fine with just one console. It's not like, oh, I want the PS3 Fat and the Slim and the Super Slim. No, I'm fine with just one. I collect video games, of course, you know that, but controllers, cables, accessories, consoles, nope, I don't do that. And even with games, I'm fine with just one version. I'm not the type of gamer who like, oh, this game is gonna be released on Switch, PS4, and PS5. I want all three versions. I want both versions, you know. I don't do that. Just that one version. That's all I need. I do have some games in different systems. Like I have is 9 on both PS4 and Switch, but because they were gifts. Okay, so but I don't buy the same game twice. I have that mentality. But accessories, hardware, stuff like that, I'm not really a fan of that, collecting that. I respect that, I see the appeal, from a collector's point of view, to collect controllers and hardware and different colors and different shit. I think it's fun if you have a lot of money to spare. But I'd rather use my money for more important things, like to collect the games that I want or that I need for my job, or to buy a house, or to pay for that house, or to pay the bills. I'm not saying it's a waste of money. I'm just saying that if you have money to spare, I understand why people do that. What? I think Square will use Yoko Taro for Dragon Quest. No, I don't think so, man. No. Dragon Quest by Yoko Taro? I'd love to play that, actually. I'd love to play a Dragon Quest game written or worked by Yoko Taro, but that's not gonna happen. Come on. Oh, man. Oh, my God. I'm here to hear Erick espouse on his good taste. Oh, where's that spouse, man? Haven't met her. I will one day. Have you ever what? Code late game boss? Code? What the hell is that? I don't understand that term. Yeah, we've talked about Dragon Quest 12 before. I am worried. It's gonna be woke. Pretty damn sure. One hit. No, I've never done that. I mean, I've one hit bosses in a New Game Plus or something, I'm overpowered already. Yeah, over leveled, yeah, I've done that, but on my first playthrough, I've never shot a single boss late or early in my whole life. I don't see the point. Bosses, I like boss fights a lot. And I just don't see the appeal in one-shotting bosses. It's just like, wow, come on. I was looking forward to the boss and he died in one hit. That's just boring, and I don't understand that. Any word on the Penny Blood devs finding a publisher? No, they're still developing the game. No word. Yoko Taro. Yoko Taro Dragon Quest, imagine. Holy crap. You know what I want? A new Nier game. And what the hell? You guys want Yoko Taro for Dragon Quest? No, kiss my ass, man. I want a new Nier game. What's going on in there? The last one was 7 years ago. Well, it was that fucking spin-off on mobile phones that nobody gave a shit about. I want a new Nier game. It's been a long time, Yoko Taro. Please. But you know what's probably delaying a new Nier? Square fucking woke Enix. The next Nier game will be extremely offensive, and now that Stellar Blade caused this ginormous controversy, and Yoko Taro has been explicitly saying that he loved the fucking game and he strongly supports it, Square Enix is probably like, yeah, Nier is dead. Yeah, we're canceling the Nier series. Yoko Taro, it was nice working with you all these years, but you're too politically incorrect for modern audiences, for the snowflake generation. So, thanks, man. Thanks. Good luck. If we see anything from Yoko Taro again, I don't think it's gonna be from Square Enix, but I could be wrong. Square Enix are a bunch of fucking hypocrites too. And on one side they're like, oh yeah, sure, we're so fucking correct and woke and, decent and respectful, blah blah blah. So yeah, right? But on the other hand, they publish these other games that are like, what the hell is going on here, man? I mean, Nier Automata on the Switch last year. Wasn't that last year? Was it 2 years ago? 1 year ago? I don't remember, but I was like, why would you give attention to a game that's now politically incorrect with female characters that are extremely sexualized? Oh no, that's a problem, right? From nowadays, Square Enix, what are you gonna do? So yeah, I don't think we'll ever see Nier again, but I don't know what's gonna happen then. Hopefully we will, but if we do and it's published by Square Enix, expect the worst. Expect Nier Snowflake. It's gonna be called Nier Woke. So what's wrong with Stellar Blade, someone asks? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Just a bunch of people trying to make dramas about the sexualization of the main character and her sexy outfits. And that's it. In fact, there's a possibility that all of this has been staged by both sides just to give publicity to the game. Because bad publicity, bad press is still press. And the game is getting a shit ton of press. And it hasn't stopped. The game was released 2 weeks ago. And people are still talking about it, fighting over it. It's getting a crap ton of attention. Wow, isn't that convenient? I'm just saying that sometimes controversies and dramas are made on purpose by the higher-ups to draw a lot of attention to a video game. I'm not cheating on Stellar Blade, I support it, and I'm against censorship, but I just consider the possibility that all of this is a big fucking lie and a stage just to draw a lot of attention to the game. It's a possibility, people. I'm not saying it's a fact or that's what I believe. Okay, it's just something to consider. Nier Automata, going back to my Nier argument, you know, I always felt it was kind of the same. Like, it was just that. There wasn't a lot of criticism back then. This game came out in 2017. Woke bullshit was barely a thing back then. So, barely anyone complained about it. But I do remember reading some, seeing some drama, small drama about it. Like, oh my god, the girls are portrayed as extremely beautiful and sexy with impossible bodies, you know, and that's wrong. Well, that was just a really small minority of people bitching about it. The game sold over 5 million copies. Sex sells. That's a universal fact. It fucking sells. But yeah, creating these kinds of controversies. So, going back to the future of Nier, I could be wrong though. Square Enix might see an opportunity. I mean, they're a bunch of fucking hypocrites, right? And they only care about the money. They don't give a shit about right, left-wing politics, morals, you know, they don't really give a shit about that. They just go with whatever the flow takes them to, you know, so they're probably gonna do the same. If a new Nier is developed and it has like a few sexualized characters, they're probably gonna release the game, and then, oh, it's been censored. This and this and this other outfit has been censored. But the rest of the outfits, oh, those are fine. Kind of like Stellar Blade. So, man, maybe I'm wrong, you know, a new Nier isn't out of the picture, you know, because Square Enix knows that, you know, it's still gonna sell a lot, and if there's a controversy about the sexualization and whatnot, you know, it's still gonna get a lot of attention, it's still gonna sell millions of copies, and it'll be a success. We'll see what happens. I'm worried about Nier, the future of the series, and I'm worried about the fact that we haven't seen anything except that mobile game that no one gives a shit about in years. Well, the remake / remaster of Replicant, that also happened. So maybe they were too busy with those two projects, but it's been a few years since those. Those came out in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been 3 years and we have nothing, so what's going on in there? Whatever the case, whatever Square Enix decides to do, or Yoko Taro, I think we need to hear something about it. About the Nier, some news about the Nier series. We'll see what happens. Sex sells, dude. I don't use that in my books. Oh my god, maybe I'm a social justice warrior in disguise. I've never sexualized my female characters, but I do express explicitly that they're freaking beautiful and gorgeous, and most of them have anime style of long, straight hair, and yeah, I'm not. Any other rage quit moments that you have had outside JRPGs? Oh, for sure. Let me introduce to you one fucking game that's not an RPG, and that is my latest rage quit. It's called Plague Tale Requiem. Woohoo, man! It should have been called a Rage Tale Requiem. How about that? A Rage Tale Requiem. That should have been the fucking name. I still loved it. I still love it. That's one of those games that pisses the shit out of you so many times, but it's so good. It's so good, man. The game with the rats. Yeah, that one, man. It's a sequel to a PS4 game. And damn. Oh, anger. Damn, man. Fuck that game. But I strongly recommend it. Oh my god. Jesus. YouTube doesn't send a lot of notifications anymore because I don't think you people believe me. I don't think you people believe in shadow banning or in blacklists. You know, we're all on a blacklist. People like me who speak against politics and criticize YouTube's censorship and politics, you know, we are all not 100% shadow banned, otherwise we wouldn't be here anymore. My videos will have 100 views each, you know, that's extreme shadow banning. But they don't recommend us, they twist the algorithm, they manipulate our views, they don't notify a lot of people, even if they're subscribed and barely miss a video. They don't send notifications, they don't do anything, you know, because they don't want us. They don't like us. That's what these people do nowadays. That's what these woke corporations do. Okay? They shadow ban us. They put a shadow on our work. They don't want our videos going viral or going big, you know, making it big. And plus, you gotta consider the fact that I had a huge fight with YouTube last year. And even if you don't believe that, you know, whatever. Believe whatever the fuck you want. Nothing changes the fact that this website doesn't favor me anymore. Whatever you want to believe. I don't give a shit. A Plague Tale Requiem, that's the game I was talking about. Yeah, Amicia. Amicia, I'm gonna tell you something about Amicia. I fucking love her, but at the end of Requiem, it was like, I don't know about her anymore. If they ever develop a third game, it's probably gonna be woke, of course. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know the future of the series. There's also talks about a new show based on the series. This is too fucking loud. This is from Ray Gigant, the dungeon theme. So, when I was halfway through playing Requiem, I was just ready to come here and say, you know what? I think Amicia is one of my favorite female characters in video game history. I fucking love her, man. But at the end, nothing woke happens, don't worry. But should I spoil you? It's not really a spoiler. It's something not connected to the story whatsoever. So it's fine, I think. Well, she cuts her hair. And she's almost bald. So that's a new, very modern female feminist look, right? And all of a sudden she has this haircut at the end of the game. I don't know about that. Years ago I wouldn't have cared, but nowadays, that's something to pay attention to. I still fucking love her, man. I love Amicia. I love her. I do. I know it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea because these are games that are a bit... They have a lot of Metal Gear influence. You gotta hide from your enemies and ambush them or just ignore them and go past them. There's a lot of stealth in there, but there's also a lot of puzzle making. There's a specific way you gotta defeat the enemy sometimes or the bosses, or to advance from point A to point B, you gotta go here, go through here and go... It's labyrinthous to say the least. But there's just some... You know what? These games are really addictive because of checkpoints. You die and you go back like 5 seconds ago. Or maybe 1 minute ago. Okay, you can also restart the whole stage if you want to, but you can restart from the last checkpoint, and they're so often that... And you have infinite continues. You never really get a proper game over. It's not like, oh, you die, it's back to the very beginning of Chapter 6. And you were at the end of Chapter 6 and you wasted hours. And no, it's extremely hard. Both games are a fucking kick in the nuts. But they're also pretty forgiving because of this. I mean, there's a crap ton of checkpoints, right? And there's always different things to try out when it comes to solving the puzzles or getting from point A to point B. I'm such a fanboy, guys. You might see me covering them in a video or two. One of these days. I don't care if they're not RPGs. I'm just gonna squeeze them in a video. There'll be like, oh, surprise! These are not RPGs, but I'm gonna talk about them. I don't give a shit because I'm such a fanboy of A Plague Tale 1 and 2. I need to talk about them. I love them, man, and they are strongly recommended. And there's nothing political about them. Maybe the voice actors in English, I don't know. I play them in French. Even though the lip sync of the characters is programmed to follow the English script. But these are games that take place in France, and they were written by French people, French developers. So I feel like it's more, I don't know, man. They make more sense in French to me. And I don't know the French actors. I don't know if the English or French dub is wokenized or politicized. I don't know. But story, localization, script, events that happen, there's nothing of the sort. Okay? So they're safe to play. Mercedes also got a short haircut in Final and Three Houses after the come on, man. That's okay. We're talking about the protagonist of a AAA game, a modern, versus not so important, just a regular party member, a secondary character in a game from 2019. Not the same, man. Come on, not the same. With Tales of games, do you normally allow another player play as the party's main healer in multiplayer? I have no friends, and I'm single, I have no kids. And my family, brother, sister, they don't play video games, so I have no one to play my Tales games with. Only Oscar, and he doesn't care about RPGs at all. He's not a fan of the Tales series, so I have no one to play my Tales games with. Mercedes is playable. You can recruit her. Even if you don't choose the house she's in, she is a playable character, man. Not an RPG, but Sony does the most idiotic thing this week for the PC crowd, and that is was making it so that PC players are forced to make a Sony account to play their game. Are you talking about the Helldivers 2 controversy? I saw something about it. I didn't watch any videos because I don't care about that game. Not because I have something against it. It's just the type of game that does not appeal to me. But yeah, I read something about it that they were forcing players to connect their accounts or something like that. I don't know much about it. But yeah, that's bullshit. Why are you required to have an account and connect it just to play a video game? I'm telling you, man, some games are... Internet is being forced on video games. That's some bullshit, I agree. Sony gets compromised a lot. It's just these guys. To me, Sony is a bit like Square Enix. It's just... I don't think deep inside, I don't think they give a shit about censorship or politics, or they just care about the money. And if leaning towards a particular political beliefs gives them more money, they're gonna go with that. Or if creating or fabricating controversies like the one with Stellar Blade is gonna give them a lot of money, they're gonna go with that. Yeah, there's something going on in Sony, man. I don't know. A fan mentioned there's some kind of internal conflict. That it's probably that, and I believe that. Something's going on in there, and I don't know what's going on. Not everything woke is money. There's that meme, go woke, go get broke, get woke, go broke, something like that, Not everything woke is money. But yeah. Big companies are always gonna do whatever it's necessary to get more money. Regardless of politics, morals, ethics, even. Whatever. More Berseria this week? You bet your ass. I'll be more motivated if people showed up there and made some donations. But yeah, I'm committed to finishing the game, Berseria, on YouTube. Forspoken didn't make Square a lot of money. There, see that? See? I avoid ESG games. That's 9 out of 10 games nowadays, sadly. Did you know Sony has a patent for creating a biometric software to monitor players' behavior for safety reasons? Yes, I know that. They're spying on us. I agree, Cayman Spidey. I'm not justifying them. I'm not saying, oh, give Sony a break because all they do is care about the money. No, I'm against this just as much as you. They fuck us over every single time and they don't give a shit about. And all they do with these new politics is create even more segregation and division in people and gamers. Like we hate each other. Fuck political bullshit. Fuck censorship. And fuck these money-loving cocksuckers in the video game industry. Fuck all of them, man. Fuck the system. There's a lot of indie games that have a lot of politics too, but they were like Ryogo Gataku. They're self-imposed. Exactly, Gaming Odyssey. Divide and conquer. People are very controlled nowadays. All their hatred and anger are against each other, instead of looking at the real responsible people for it. The corporations, the 1%, the people in power, the government. People are never going to unite anymore against them. They have succeeded in dividing us with morals and genders and races. They did it. But now it's time to fight back. Time to stand up. Fight this. I'm always saying don't give attention to the haters. Don't feed them. And I still would like to recommend... I still would like to keep saying that. But maybe every now and then, you know, just fight these bastards, man. Piss them off. So far, what is your top 3 Switch RPG that is a masterpiece? No more, no less. Are we talking... Are remasters and remakes included? Yum, please answer that question first. Or strictly games that were developed for the Switch? I mean... I need you to be more specific. Because there's a lot of them, man. No remasters, no ports, no remakes. Okay, so East 9, Monster Nox, that's one of them. That was developed for modern systems, it's not a port. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, definitely. And Shin Megami Tensei 5. Although Shin Megami Tensei 5 is hard to recommend nowadays because of Atlus. Yakuza is not on Switch. Not on Switch. That's my answer, Yum. East 9, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I'll throw in a bonus for you, Valkyria Chronicles 4. That's my absolutely must-play masterpiece. You have to remove East 9 because it's available. So you mean exclusives? Oh, I made a video about that, man. You probably missed it. It's called Top 5 Best Exclusive JRPGs on Switch. Check it out. You missed it. No problem. Was it required for the story to have played Xeno 2 before Xeno 3? No. You can play. Sure, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 spoils a few things of the first 2 games at the end, but nothing that major, man. You're okay to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3 first, without having to play the second one. Have you played Chained Echoes? I still have not. That's right, Odin Felgana did not get the remastered. That's a remaster of a remake. We didn't get it. Yes, but I was asking your masterpiece. In that video you can see my masterpieces. My 3 masterpieces. which are basically Fire Emblem Three Houses, which isn't exactly what I would call a masterpiece, but it's a great game, one of the best. Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I guess Triangle Strategy doesn't count because it's on Steam. Yeah, Triangle Strategy doesn't count. It's not an exclusive anymore. Do you think we can still get Memoir in English, or do you think that might not happen? What? What's Memoir? A game? Is that a game? Thanks, Ivan. I'll check Chained Echoes out when I can. How will you rank Eiyuden Chronicles compared to the others in the series? Like from worst to best? I think it will be my number 3. Yeah, it's that good. Number 1 for me is still Suikoden 5. Number 2 is Suikoden 2. And number 3 will be Eiyuden Chronicle. And then number 4, Suikoden 3. And then Suikoden 1, and then Suikoden 4. This is based on the main series only. Yeah, Eiyuden Chronicle will be my number 3. Probably. Definitely. Not probably, definitely my number 3. Yeah. Oh, I mean Memoir. Odin Felgana is called Memoir. Oh. I'm not sure why we didn't get it. I mean, Falcom releases... Usually they release everything on Steam. Everything. I'm not sure why they didn't do the same for that specific remaster. I don't even know why it wasn't even localized. Why? I mean, I don't understand why. It's Ys. You think we will get anything from the Ys series nowadays? We got a million ports of Ys Origin, and we didn't get the remaster of Felgana? I have no idea what's going on in there. I don't think it's Falcom. I think it's Nis America. Oh, you know what? You know what's going on? Nis America doesn't have the rights of Ys the Odin Felgana. That's Exceed Games. That's why we didn't get it. Because Exceed Games, they don't give a damn about remasters or remakes or anything. They just release the next new game and that's it. Yeah, man, that's the reason we didn't get Felgana Memoir. That's the reason, I'm pretty sure. Because the rights of the English localization belong to Exceed Games, not to Nis America. Had it been up to Nis America, we would have gotten it. No problem. But we didn't get it because it's Exceed Games. So there you go. So the answer is no, I don't think we'll get it because these guys, I don't know, Marvelous owns Exit Games and apparently they have no interest in remastering games. All they did was bring back Trails of Cold Steel on PS4, not on Switch. That was another weird decision. Must be a cash flow thing. Probably, yeah. It's just Exceed doesn't have a lot of money. Right? So maybe they think it's not worth it? Who knows? No, they don't have the exclusive rights, just to the version they made. Well then I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. Are you familiar with Symphony of War, the Nephilim saga? No. But isn't that as an indie strategy RPG? Correct me if I'm wrong. Exceed only has the rights to the specific versions they license. That's how it works. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. I am playing Hexis Force. That's an awesome game. Thanks for mentioning such an obscure RPG in your videos. You're welcome. Hope you enjoy the game. It's a really good game. One of my favorites on the PSP. Remember Ragnarok Odyssey Ace on PS3 by Exceed? It's on PS Plus. Oh. Okay. Then I have no comment. I have no fucking clue what's going on. Why we didn't get Felgana remastered. I don't know why. Have you played Suikoden Tactics? Yes, I have, and it's a good game. I do recommend it. Not masterpiece, not wow. It's not gonna blow you away, but it's a good game. I hope Valhalla Knights 3 Gold Edition has fan translated. You want that game fan translated? I play the original on the Vita. Lots of fan service. Yeah, maybe we'll get Felgan, I don't know. Maybe at some point. Maybe Nice America will take over. They're gonna grab it and say, hey, I'll localize it. I'll localize these remastered. So why wouldn't they, right? East is quite popular nowadays. I will take advantage of it. I will localize every single East game except strategy. Not strategy. That fucking game can stay in Europe and Japan for all I care for the rest of history. What RPGs do you recommend suited for summer? What kind of question is that, man? What kind of question is that? Why I mean, I recommend this RPG for summer. I mean, why? I don't know. What? What do you think about Golden Sun? I'm not really a fan. I played it once in the Game Boy Advance, and they were good, but they had a lot of puzzles and random encounters. They drove me crazy at some point, and I never went back to them. I would love to give Golden Sun a chance again one of these days, but I'm not the biggest Golden Sun fan. I do recommend them though, and they are some of the best Game Boy Advance RPGs of all time. So I have nothing against them. It's just, when I play them, maybe it wasn't the right moment for me, or the right time for me. What JRPGs do you recommend for Thursdays? The puzzles in Golden Sun are crazy, man. They're freaking crazy. Really annoying. Golden Sun is perfect for summer. What do you think of Senran Kagura? Will it live in today's market? Yeah, because they are obscure games. Apparently these companies or these journalists don't give a shit about obscure games. They just attack the mainstream ones. They usually ignore other games. Senran Kagura and stuff like that. I mean, yeah. I mean, did you see even they don't even attack some modern big RPGs? Like, did you see Infinite Wealth and all the bikinis? I mean, yeah, it sure is great to attack Stellar Blade, but Sega still gets away with this. I'm trying to find an image. I took a screenshot. Oh my god, where is it? I can't find it. Lost the image. Oh man. Just made myself look like an idiot. Nope. God damn it. I really want to show it. I'm not gonna give up. Oh, there we go. Found them. Yeah! Let's attack Stellar Blade, but completely ignore Yakuza. I mean, look at this, man. Sure, they aren't the most revealing bikinis, but yeah, this is fine. So you see all these fucking journalists and woke dumbasses out there, reviewers? It's like, for some reason, they only attack the most super big AAA titles. You know, but they don't give a shit about this. Did you see the sexy outfits in Persona 3 Reload? You do get them at some point for Mitsuru and for Yukari, and they're like, I mean, that's okay. I mean, Stellar Blade is not okay. It's way too sexy, and this is okay. Okay. Makes no sense to me. And that's why these people are a bunch of fucking hypocrites. And that's what makes me believe that this controversy may have been fabricated. Why specifically attack that game and not every other sexualized video game in existence? Sorcerer's Kingdom? Sorcerer's Kingdom is a Sega Genesis RPG and it's kinda bad. But the music is alright. Ignore double standard people. LOL. Yeah. Devs have learned they can't sneak this past the point of journos. Maybe that's what happened. Phantasy Star Online 2 new game. NG is too sexy? Okay. Did you ever play Sorcerian? No, Sorcerian is a Falcom RPG, if I'm not mistaken, right? I haven't played it. Please bring sexy back. It didn't go anywhere, as you clearly saw. Huh. It didn't go anywhere, man. It's still there. Sexiness still there. Want to take a look at the Wait a second. It's media source. Hopefully I can find it. This is the one for Yukari. So you see, Persona 3 wasn't as censored as you thought. Thank you, Khalid. Hey, Eric, love your channel. Thanks a bunch, man, for the donation. Yukari is flat, though. Well, Yukari was flat in the original, too. And I'm not here to justify the flatness of the characters, but that's just the style. If you play the original version of Persona 3, they're also the same. The character design is kind of flat. Fuka, Yukari, they're flat. Mitsuru isn't, and there's a scene at the beach in Persona 3 Reload, and she shows her bikini, and yeah, the boobs are of regular size, not flat, and they show that. So, come on people, it's just a bunch of imbeciles attacking Stellar Blade, everything else is just the same. It's just the really, really huge AAA games, I think. Barely any of these dumbasses is looking at JRPGs. Still a lot of sexiness. Persona 3 is criticized for the translation. Yeah, not the sexiness apparently. Mitsuru and Aigis had breasts in the original Persona 3. They have breasts too in the remake. And have you seen how, when there's an all-out attack with Aigis, how they make a shot of her ass when she runs towards the enemies? They don't do the same for Mitsuru and Yukari, but they don't have a problem with... I don't know, maybe it's the same duality. It's just there's a lot of duality when it comes to Atlus and Segatlus. I'm gonna make a video called the duality of Segatlus. How about that? The duality. Atlus prefers size over cleavage. Oh man. Both games you mentioned, like a Dragon and Persona 3, are turn-based, and surveys have shown that a majority of young gamers just don't care about turn-based. Dude, they still sold millions of copies. Millions! Who gives a shit if young gamers don't care about them? Who gives a fuck, man? They sold millions of copies in just 1 or 2 weeks. Is it bad to love Aigis? She's a robot. I love Aigis, and I don't give shit. Top 100 games with sexy characters? We can do top 1,000 games with sexy characters, man. They want to attack F-top games because they hated the sexiness of the games Stellar Blade, no Estella. Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of some weird shenanigans going on in there. I like Chihiro in P3. I like her too, man. She's beautiful. That's... I don't know. What game was that? Leotard grayish outfits with gooey breast physique. Wasn't that Nier Automata? Sounds like you're describing Nier Automata. But I don't think so. Gooey, I don't know. Is Mexico more lax on cleavage than, say, Canada and the US? No. They don't give a shit, man. Oh, more lax? Then yes. People don't give a shit here. Will there be a new turn-based Final Fantasy game in the future? I don't think so, man. Maybe just a spin-off. But mainline Final Fantasy going back to turn-based? I doubt it. Are you talking about Valkyrie Drive, Brian? Valkyrie Drive, the girls are lesbians. If you're not talking about that game, then I have no idea which game you're talking about. Cry Machina, maybe? No, there's no... No, in Cry Machina, the girls are in leotards with gooey breasts and physics. No, they're not. They're fucking robots, just like Aegis in Cosmos. No, maybe Valkyrie Drive. I don't know what game you're referring to, man. I am discovering more only in Japan games, so I do care about fan translations. That's awesome, Mad Radio. I'm still waiting for Metal Slug Tactics. Me too. I love Metal Slug. I love strategy RPGs. What the fuck? Of course I'm looking forward to it too. Valkyrie Anatomia is an insult. That's the mobile game, right? It kinda is, yeah. Okay. Valkyrie Drive is an amazing anime. I have seen the anime. I love the game though. Those Chrono Cross a remake. Does Chrono Cross deserve a remake? No, I think it aged pretty well. And the remaster did almost everything fine. All the problems that were there at launch were fixed. Except the CGI cutscenes look like crap on modern TVs. Unfortunately, they didn't remaster the modern cutscenes, just the opening. Why couldn't they do the same with the CGI cutscenes, man? God damn it, Square Enix. But everything else, I mean, it's almost the perfect version to play it. I don't think Cross needs a remake. No. Trigger! In HD 2D? But Chrono Cross remake? No, the remaster is all we needed. That's it. We need new Valkyrie profile like the old ones. Yes, we do. Have you played Baten Kaitos Remastered? Barely. That's another game in my... I want a copy of that game. I almost got it. I think I saw it for like $40. The Switch version. But I was like, please, I don't know, it's probably not gonna happen, but Bandai Namco, please release it on PS5. Or PS4 at least. It's not gonna happen, is it? I mean, Square didn't do the same with Chrono Cross. Only physical version is the Switch version. No PS4, no PS5 version. Just Switch. And that was PlayAsia. That wasn't even Square Enix. That was just some people in there. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna release this game on the Switch because I love the Switch. PS4? No, fuck the PS4, man. Just Switch. Bandai Namco was of the same mentality. But I have a feeling, I could be wrong though, that Nintendo was involved in that decision. Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 were originally exclusives to the GameCube. So maybe Nintendo owns the rights. I don't know, maybe Nintendo told Bandai Namco, sure, you can remaster your game, but it's only gonna be on Switch. No, it's not even on PC, I think. Is it on PC? Baten Kaitos Remaster on Steam? Because they aren't on any console whatsoever except the Switch. Bandai Namco, man, what? I don't understand. Bandai Namco is like the modern Sega. Remember all of those really stupid business decisions Sega did in the 90s? Bandai Namco is the new Sega, man. It's like, what? I mean, what's going on? It's so obvious there's a lot of money waiting to be done with these certain games being released or remastered or remade, and they just no. What do they do? They remastered Tales of Symphonia and it fucking fails. Bravo. That's Sega, 90s Sega level of bullshit. Level of idiocy. What's going on, Namco? Really? Xenosaga? Oh, nobody gives shit about that. Let's just... Fuck Xenosaga. Fuck the Tales games. Baten Kaitos! Here it is. I mean, thank you for that. Seriously, but... exclusive to the Switch. Will there ever be a SMT Persona game that will have that Genshin Impact like graphics? No, I don't think so. There's a specific art style and graphical style to the Persona and SMT series that I fucking love, by the way, and I think it should stay that way. I don't think we'll ever see something like that. Maybe other games in other series, you know, like that Fantasio thing, but Persona and SMT I think are fine. I don't think we'll ever see them with the Genshin Impact level of graphics, nor would I want them to look like that ever. Do you remember the quartz system of trails from Zero? Yes, I do. They don't have master quartz, and each quartz has elemental value. Yeah. You have to calculate and insert so that they will unlock the art you want. Yeah. Okay, so yes, I do remember that. Was that your question? Or were you having a conversation with someone else that I missed? Even Harada tried to convince Bandai Namco to remaster Xenosaga. Who's Harada? Who is that? Who is Harada? Anyway, have you ever seen the old Atlus commercials from the 2000s? Some of them, like SMT3, are harnessing that. Yeah, I love them. Who doesn't remember Vote Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne? I mean, that was a meme, man. That was a blast. Vote for Nocturne. I remember that. Harada is the maker of Tekken. Oh, really? Also Tekken? Okay. So even that guy is that big of a fan of Xenosaga, and he asked Namco to remaster the trilogy and they said no? Do you think there's a chance of Phantasy Star 1 through 4 getting pixel remasters? I don't know. Have you played those games on the Sega collection of PS4? They look fucking fantastic, man. Almost as if they were remastered. I don't think that they are. I don't think it's necessary to do that, but it's money. People will buy them. So, yeah, I believe in the possibility. Just not. I don't think it's that big of a possibility. But hopefully, we'll get that. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne will never deny us of our pre-existing medical conditions. Vote Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Oh my god. Last questions, guys. The poll is still on 77%. Yes, 23% no. There's still a lot of people who don't care about fan translations, but I'm glad to see that most people care. The majority still cares about fan translated JRPGs. That's cool. I'll see if I can cover them in the future. A little bit more often. I mean, I play Cold Steel first and come back to Zero. I'm really surprised that they are completely different. The quartz system and the orbment system in every Trails game is a bit different. They have to. It would be boring if it was the same in every single game. They're very different, yeah. What? All 4 Phantasy Star games are in the Genesis collection? Yes, 2, 3, and 4 are there. The first one, I think you had to unlock it on the PlayStation 3. I don't remember if you could do the same in the PS4 or Switch versions or Xbox versions. The last one. I don't know. A Shining Force collection will be bonkers, to be honest. Shining... Including Exa? I don't think that's gonna happen. More of Shining Force 1, 2... Gaiden 1 and Gaiden 2, also known as Shining Force CD. Those 4 or 3. Throw in the third one. Complete. We only got part 1 on the Sega Saturn. We never got part 2 or 3. They stayed in Japan. So imagine a Shining Force collection. Shining Force collection, man. Shining Force collection. That's how I feel about a Shining Force collection. This is another song that gets interrupted in the middle. I don't know why. Maximum Carnage. Guess what Bandai Namco has a game in their sleeve soon? Guess what? Oh, they do? We'll see what's going on there in the future. The beach scene with Estelle and Joshua in Trails in the Sky second chapter. Ah, man. A Tales 2D collection. Me too, man. A long time ago, 5 years ago, maybe I should remake that video. There was a... never mind. Yeah, I do want a Tales collection, especially the ones in the beginning. Fantasia, Destiny, and Eternia. Oh, a new Ace Combat! Bandai Namco. I'm so excited for it, man. I'm a big diehard Ace Combat fan. So I'm so freaking excited for this new Bandai Namco game. Oh, thank you, Bandai Namco, for a new Ace Combat. I don't give a shit about it. There was this Shining Force mobile remake that got cancelled. Thankfully, it did. Will more games have voice acting as AI becomes cheaper? Interesting question. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we will start seeing games with AI writing, which is pathetic, to be honest. Not human. But voice acting, yeah, I mean, unless they can get the AI to imitate, to do a great characterization of characters, you know, a great performance. Unless they can do that, I don't think we're there yet. I think we're gonna still see... We're gonna keep seeing human voice actors in video games. I don't know what's going on in there. There are already some indie games with English, with AI voice acting. Oh my god. That's... Can you tell me which ones? Like which indies, for example? I still remember Itching Blades of Steel as my first VG voice. What? I haven't played Rebirth. Only the demo. What indie games have AI voice acting? I want to know to stay the fuck away from them. The music's over. That's an indication of I gotta go. Yep. Blades of Steel on the Nintendo had an AI voice. Blades of Steel. Okay, that's on my list of I don't give a shit about it. Wow. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining. Thank you to everybody who donated. See you soon in another stream. I'll be completing my Tales of Berseria stream. Even if the difficulty is starting to piss me off and get on my nerves, like it was yesterday, it shall continue. So have a great week, everybody, and see you when I see you.